Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So it's that time of the week again. It's our usual Friday night live. So it's been a busy old week. So how's everyone else been getting on? How's everyone keeping? So I've spent most of the day chopping logs again. So my aim for this winter is to have keep nice and warm. Make sure that we're protected from any sort of price hikes in the energy markets, because it's an unstable world out there. So as well as growing as much food as we can in our garden to try and insulate ourselves from the things that are going on out there, we're trying to make sure that we're self-sufficient on energy as much as possible. And we got the log burner last year, and that's made a massive difference for us. Just in our home, we can finally keep the home warm. So we're getting fresh food from the garden. We're getting a little bit of our own heat. I mean, it'd be brilliant if we could have solar panels, and that'd make a massive change. That'd be a big game changer. But with a flat roof, it's kind of difficult. Rachel, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So, as you know, for those of you joining us for the first time, we stream across two platforms. We're across live on TikTok as well as being live on YouTube. So yeah, we're streaming across both platforms, just to reach as many people as possible. Let's grow home. How are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Big Mac, how are you doing, boss? Hope you're keeping well. So what's everyone been up to this week? What's new in your world? Give me a little bit of an update. Because we started having a little bit of rain, but still no. The ground is really still quite dry. As soon as you get past the first level of mulch, the ground is still quite dry. I mean, what I've started doing is we started connecting the grey water, but what I've started doing is I've been making little canals. So when the grey water pulls out into the garden or into one spot, then it channels down into little canals, and I've zigzagged those across the different beds, so I can get maximum water penetration into the soil without using fresh water. So how are you all coping without the rain, or with the little bit of rain that we're getting? But it's just not quite enough. So Kato family, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Jamil Ahmed, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. You pulled all your garlic this week and it's rained every day up in Scotland. Oh, you're just showing off with your rain. Blessed with some rain the last couple of days. No, we get little showers, right? But it's not enough to get into the soil. It's we a few weeks ago, maybe two and a half weeks ago, we had some real heavy storms, and that really made a big difference for us. But then since then we're having little showers, but it's not enough to get deep into the soil. And when the soil's dry, it doesn't penetrate. It just floats across the top. No need to be sorry. Enjoy your rain. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what's going on. So we've got 4 or 5 people over on TikTok. Not sure who you are, but hello anyway. Rachel saying it's boiling hot, looking at rain again tomorrow. And that's what I think Jamil Ahmad said that again as well. Loads of rain tomorrow. Let's hope there's some good rain. But I've got to get my video done tomorrow as well. Get my video for Sunday film tomorrow. So you can't win. Based 847. Wa alaikum assalam. Tell me what that means. What does based actually mean? I don't get it. Someone said I was based, and I didn't understand what it meant. So tell me what that means. I'm showing my age now. I'll send you a video from yesterday afternoon on Instagram of the rain. Yeah, send us that and we'll have a look. Emma, how are you doing? You're in East Yorkshire, hoping for rain this weekend. I've taken a don't water philosophy apart from the greenhouse, and everything in the ground seems to be thriving. As long as the ground's mulched, from the very start, it makes a massive difference in terms of what water evaporation and water preservation. And the more carbon you can get into your soil, and the more organic matter you can get into your soil, the water holding capacity increases massively. So, Dave, your mum's calling you. Want to see what she's saying? Yeah, so the water holding capacity just increases hugely. I mean, we mulch heavily, but we're still on really thick, heavy clay, and that clay really does dry out quite quickly, despite the mulch that's on there. The mulch retains a lot of water, but because when we started gardening, we had about a couple of inches, maybe that sort of depth of topsoil, and the rest was yellow clay subsoil. It was really nasty stuff. So some of the beds now are absolutely awesome. They're really good, but they still got that heavy clay content, so they do tend to dry out a lot. Whenever we get prolonged periods of lack of rain. Willow Grove, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Water catchment is full at the moment. Oh, fantastic. Great job. So having a horse and unlimited, having a horse, yeah, that'd work nice. That'd work really well. See, I was looking, East Yorkshire. See, I was looking at some sort of, small holdings around there. But Yorkshire's just so expensive. It's just so expensive. Wales is probably the cheapest option. Scotland's quite cheap, but it's still very well. I say cheap. It's cheaper, but it's just too cold up there. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens with what's going on with the sort of financial markets and everything at the moment, because it's looking crazy. But I'm still looking for a group of people to collaborate with and join on. Because remember, I mentioned this, or I've talked about this quite a few times. A single small holding plot is what, with about 4 or 5 acres and a house, you're looking at 500,000. But a 100-acre farm can cost $1 million. So if you've got 10 of you, you've suddenly dropped that massive cost really low down. And when it's your own land and you're buying a huge farm, there's going to be no uplift clauses when you're trying to buy that land. So, and there's going to be no there's going to be no objections from your immediate neighbours for any planning permission. So, because you're going to be neighbours to each other. So if we can collaborate, bring up 10, 15 people of like-minded people who can form our own community, and then we'll be, in a position where we're able to support each other. So we buy our big agricultural investments together, tractors and heavy machinery and anything like that we need. We buy that together, but then we retain our independence. That sort of halfway house between a commune and an independent little community. So almost like a cooperative. This is what but I'm looking for the right group of people. So if anyone is interested, but it could be anywhere. I mean, it could be. We won't go north of Yorkshire, but it could be anywhere. So if people are interested in doing something like that, then yeah, let me know. So it's colder and a lot wetter in Scotland. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I mean, it's cold up in Yorkshire, but I don't want to go any further north. It's not cold in Edinburgh. Weather is, but light levels are different as well. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a lot of stuff around trying to find the right things. Stuff that's on the open market is stuff that's already hard to sell. A lot of the best deals have already happened way before they've even gone to market. And that's one of the things that is hard to break into that, especially when you're from outside. But we're going to do it. I mean, the plant, there's definitely so I've got a 5-year plan, or within the next 5 years, I want to be on a small holding. I want to be on some good land. If we can find the right group of people, then hopefully we might be able to make it a little bit faster and go out there and have our own little community out there. So people who are interested, get in touch. We have 7 acres, but it's 30 miles from home that we just paid off. So what are the restrictions for you in terms of going out and building on that sort of land and building your little homestead on the on those on those acres? So what's and also what's going well for you in your garden at the minute? What's growing well? What's not growing so well? My squash is starting to come on really well. I don't know what's happened with my potatoes this year. Every year my potatoes do absolutely amazing. Now I'll tell you, this year I had a bit of help when I planted my potatoes, and so I've got some people were here doing some training with me. They were doing. I was teaching them a session on growing, and they helped me with growing my potatoes or moving the wood chip and planting some of the potatoes. And I showed them how to do the first couple, or how I do the first couple in wood chip, and then I left them to it. I thought, yeah, I'll just leave you to it. And then I went to plant. I went away, did something else, and then I got involved with planting the second half. Now it's quite funny that the second half that I was involved with planting, those potatoes have come up really well. It's a bed absolutely brilliant. The potato plants are sort of hip high, looking really healthy. They're just starting to flower. And the plants that I didn't get involved with, they're still sort of 6 inches tall. They're looking really anemic. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, it's not been a good year for my potatoes this year. So that sounds like an awesome plan. It's just I wouldn't have the cash. It would be see that's the way we do it. I mean that's the way we do it. So if it's not going to be. This footage shows the moment before Adam Jenkins stabbed and killed his sister. What was that? I have no idea what happened to my live stream there. That was weird. So my live stream on TikTok just went a bit haywire. It just went a bit crazy. I don't know what happened there. So user is asking, is sycamore a good wood to burn? It's absolutely brilliant. Really good wood to burn. Yeah, really, really, really good wood to burn. It's sort of in terms of time, it's medium sort of lasting, leaves good coals, and it burns really hot. But it's a brilliant wood to burn. It cures really quickly as well. So yeah, if you can get sycamore, get it. Chard is going crazy well. Brilliant. See, I've got loads of chard to transplant still. We've got a ripe melon in the greenhouse. Oh, that sounds awesome. So Mo wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Hope you're keeping well. So there's no restrictions. I live on a Muskogee nation reserve. Just don't have the money to build a homestead at the moment. And that's the thing for most people. Access to land and that finance to get there. It's just so difficult, and that's why if we can do it as a community, there's a much bigger opportunity to do it. um, or join in a community where you can help each other. See, if I was going to do it, then I'd end up selling that, selling my home now. Um, yeah, so sell my home. I've got a little bit of equity in the house. I can sell my home now, and then it'll finance a good proportion of buying this project. So if we did go down the route of buying a big farm and then divvying it up, then we could cover it that way. But yeah, we've got to find those people. Get in touch with it. Get in touch with me, anyone who's interested, and then because it's not going to be an overnight thing. We'll do it. We'll talk. We'll decide. We'll iron out things. It might be that we get into some of the detail, and people think, "Oh no, this is not for me," or they might think, "Look, okay, here's an alternative suggestion. Why don't we try this?" And we can make changes. We can make adaptations, and see how we get on. Ibra Akram wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. You're very welcome. Yeah, we'll be keeping going as long as we can. We've been slowly moving towards getting the land cleared and fencing fixed. How far away is it? Oh, it's 30 minutes from your home. Oh, that's it. So I've got the windows open because it's really hot, and that's it. Someone started with a lawnmower outside. Is always the way, in it. It's always the way. Let me see. Let me get these windows closed, and that'll stop some of the noise. Just give us a second. That's a bit better. So are you talking about living on the shared land or living elsewhere? So living on the shared land, I mean, there's one guy I spoke to, and he was just thinking he's not interested in the farming, he's not interested in anything else. He just wants in just so he can use it as a little holiday home. So if he can get his property or little hut built, then he just wants to be able to come out and join in, which is fair enough. I mean, if people want to join in with something like that, then that's fine. I mean, we'll manage the we'll manage. I'm sure there's plenty of people who'll be willing to take on that land. We have our own community little communal land, and we have our own individual bits of land where you're free to do what you want. And then something, I'm just trying to get it uploaded onto the website. So I've written my vision in a bit of detail. So once our webmaster gets it uploaded, then you'll be able to see what I'm sort of talking about. And there's like a little form on there as well that you can put in your details, what your financial position is, what sort of land you're looking for, and all of that. I'll announce it. I'll put some posts out once I get it up on the, once I get it live. But yeah, I think the thing is, we'll have to meet. We'll have to make sure that we're happy with each other, because if we're going to make a massive commitment like that, we have to make sure that we're happy with each other. So if people are interested, yeah, do drop me a message. So Emma, yeah, absolutely drop me a message. If I was 20 years younger, I would have loved somewhere with more. See, this is the thing I'm scared of, right? Now, if I don't do it in the next sort of 5 or 6 years, then I think I'm going to get to a point where I'm too old to take a big risk. Yeah, that's the sort of worry that I'm in at the moment. See, Cato family, I'd be all in if I lived in the UK. I've got this. This is one of the my frustrations, right? There's a lot of really good people that I know that are nowhere near they're in different countries, or they're not, they can't commit to something, and but they make ideal candidates, or they make ideal, people that you'd work with. So I guess the rights for multiple dwellings on the land is the challenge. This is the thing, right? There used to be there's a rule at the moment that if you live on land, agricultural land, and you've been living there for 4 years, then you can build a single dwelling for yourself. So now, if we take a big plot of land, divvy it up, get a little plot registered in everyone's name, then you can put you can state your claim on that land, put your little hut on there, say that you're living on there, and then apply for that 4-year rule. But the latest sort of planning law that's going through is about to revoke this 4-year rule, and it's going to be simplified by a 10-year rule. And if it's simplified, it's going to be 10 years across everything. Now, if it is 10 years, then you can have a mobile home in there. And I was at a farm in where is it? Somewhere in Keighley. Now, what the guy's done is he's bought these massive, those porter cabin style houses. So he's bought these massive porter cabin style houses, and he put them on, mobile. And the council came along and said you can't have them on there. So what he did was he got a crane and he bought
What?
So I've got a notification saying permanent ban will ensure if live does not end in 30 seconds. What does that mean?
I think this is your live going on too long. There you go.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one.
Does TikTok live have a...
It's some weird let's block that guy. Block account. Bye-bye.
Some what?
Okay.
Or someone saying something?
Yeah, it's just some weirdo. Yeah, let's...
Report it.
No, I've blocked him, but it doesn't seem... Yeah, bye-bye anyway. So, yeah, anyway, that just threw me off my chain of thought.
You were saying...
He brought me some nachos.
Is that I made him? You were saying this guy had a crane and moved his houses or something.
So what he did was he took his his fixed porter cabins, and he bought some old chassis from
chassis?
Yeah, chassis from a trailer from a lorry, and he just stuck his porter cabin on top of the trailer, and so now it's technically mobile. So the council's satisfied that it's a mobile home now, and you can stay there for the next 10 years. And we'll get it out of here. There you go.
You dropped it.
So as soon as he gets that 10-year threshold, he can apply for planning permission for his home. And he'd done something really good, because the first thing that he got there, right now, the guy works on cricket fields, and he knows a lot of people in the cricket industry. The first thing he did was the willows that you grow for the specific type of willow tree that's grown for cricket bats, a specific variety of willow, and he planted loads of willow everywhere. So he's about 6 or 7 years in to this project. His willow trees are sort of that sort of size. When they double that sort of size, he's going to be able to harvest those willow trees. No, thank you. He's going to be able to harvest those willow trees, sell them on to his cricketing people, and yeah, he's just gonna rake it in. So there's lots of ways that people are bringing in revenue from these things in alternate, other than just growing the standard vegetables in the sort of industrial agriculture sense. Because what he's got underneath his willow trees, he's got geese, he's got ducks, he's got goats, he's got pigs. He's got all of that sort of thing. I mean, I'm Muslim, so obviously wouldn't have pigs, but yeah, goats would be absolutely brilliant under trees. Yeah, absolutely, don't put it off. Go for it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we need to do it. So we've got a few people. Muhammad Abdul Basit, wa alaikum assalam. Where are you from? I'm from Leeds. Saleh Ahmad, assalamu alaikum. My dad and grandparents farmed the land for years. I helped for years as a child, but stopped after my dad wasn't able to keep going. Oh, so you're from Rochdale. So you're not far. You're about half an hour drive away from us. See, I mean, this is the thing. Like, where my granddad came here, my dad came here, in the sort of 60s, and they're all from farming backgrounds. So our whole family was, they're farmers, and this is one of the things that you see um, the second generation, third generation of immigrants, is they don't want to go back to that sort of farming lifestyle. They're trying to move away and get into city jobs and high flying office positions. Whereas I think I'm bucking the trend a little bit, where I had a high flying office position, I had a high flying career, but I've spun that on the head because I want to focus more on community. I want to focus more on preserving land, and teaching people how to be a little bit more self-sufficient. But you see, as soon as some people start doing that, you'll see other people joining in. Does it get really cold in winter in Leeds? It does get cold in winter. Leeds is quite cold. I mean, most of the north is quite cold. I think TikTok's just gone. Okay, battery's too low. So good luck with all that. Getting the right people is so important. You wouldn't believe the politics and shed growing on. Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine. We want our own land, maybe in Wales. See, Wales is probably the best option for trying to get onto land. Yeah, I think Wales is probably the best option. I've sort of looked at North Wales is maybe a little bit too wet, but sort of West Wales, there's a lot of land out there, and it's still crazy price. Stallion, fish keeping and gardening. Eyebrow Senior still growing plants. You're still using growing plants up, been doing it well, perfect for set. I didn't understand that. Seen you using growing plants up. I didn't understand your comment, man. Icky, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. The thing is that I've planted random fruit trees around town to properties. You see, yeah, I mean that's one of the good things. Yeah, growing plant upwards. Yeah, I mean we grow a lot of bottle gourds and stuff. So we grow a lot of squash, beans, climbing plants. So they're really good at going upwards. And then underneath that we grow a lot of leafy plants. So things that want a little bit of cooler temperature, so we create a little bit of a microclimate with a little bit of shade, and that just gives a little bit of protection, a little bit of sun protection, and birds and things are less. They're more wary about going under things. So if you've got a lot of pigeons eating cabbages, if you grow them under a structure that you've got something else climbing over the top of, the birds are less likely to go in and eat your cabbages. Husbandry is the way to go. I mean, I'd love some sheep. I mean, I'd love some sheep. I'd love some cows. Yeah, I've got some plan. I've got some nice plans if we can get some sheep. Oh, you're joking. Oh, the heron took that. Could you net it off or put some sort of wire mesh over the top of it? There's a crow that takes a lot of took a lot of my goldfish. Really cheeky birds. I remember I went out into the garden once and there was a crow just sort of edging towards the edge of the garden watching the fish. Then I came out, it saw me, and it sort of hid behind a tree stump just out of sight. And then it watched me walk away. And then, so I thought, okay, I'm going to watch what this crow does. And I came back, sort of had a little peek about 10 seconds later, and the crow's edging back out of his little hiding place to try and catch my fish again. So I chased him off. But yeah, we've got we've got loads of branches and stuff piled over the top of the pond at the moment now to stop things coming down and sitting in. But you might like this. I'm thinking of expanding the pond. I've been talking about it for a while now. The kids are big enough, so I'm not worried about them falling in and drowning anymore, and they can all swim a little bit. So what I'm thinking is that whole area that's at the bottom of the seating area, just take one side of it all, and then just turn it into a massive pond. It'll end up being about 2.5 meters, maybe 3 meters by 2.5 meters. And yeah, I think that'll look quite cool, you know. So you might like that. So no, mate, lost 3 in a short period of time. You'll have to check my video later. The local herons are about 4 foot. Wow. Wow. So make some ledgers just in case some plunger comes in and fall. Yeah. Definitely. The thing is, what I'd do is, you know, just like the standard ponds are shallower on one side and then deeper on the other. So we do it like that, and then do like a stepped area, and then put in loads of rocks around there and put in loads of plants around there. So you know, you've got your natural filtration. We don't have a mosquito problem in our pond because obviously we've got the fish in there that are eating any sort of insect larvae that are growing in there. But we've got little goldfish, so that they're eating anything like that. And also there's a good couple of pumps in there. So we've got some pumps, a solar little fountain and a electric mains powered pump that runs the filter. So Adam Heath just got back from watering the plot. Hope everything is well and not suffering too much of the lack of. See, Adam was talking about the lack of rain at the start. Even when we're getting those little bits of rain, it's just not penetrating the ground, is it? So what I was talking about before is what I'm doing is with the grey water, I've got it channeled out into different parts of the garden, and then I'm hoeing out little channels so the grey water lands in one spot and then flows across little ditches and soaks into the ground. And I'm hoping that's going to make a bit of a difference. I should have done it months and months ago. I should have done it in May, April, got ready with it, but yeah, just too late. So nice idea for netting fish. But see, I was thinking, you know, if you just put like a wire mesh over it, and then if you put it on a wooden frame, you can put sections on hinges, so you can just you know, open it up or lift it off if you need to. You know, if you do like 3 different sections, lift it off if you need to, put them to one side, and then put them back over the top. Just use galvanized steel mesh or something, and just do it that way. So if I do build a pond, yeah, I'll definitely do a video on it. So our allotment society have secured a crash grant and fitted gutter into all our sheds and IVCs for. Oh, that's fantastic. So did they just fit guttering, or did they get your IVCs as well? Because that's awesome. We just need enough rain to catch it all. You know, you just need enough rain to fill those IVCs now. Someone said there's rain coming tomorrow. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the forecast for tomorrow. Oh, we're getting thunderstorms tomorrow. So I better be a little bit smartish and get my video filmed first thing in the morning. And see what are the chances of rain. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of rain, and so hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain tomorrow. So I better get my video film first thing in the morning. The storm in Manchester tomorrow. So you've got brand new IBCs, guttering and down points. Fantastic. That's really good. Yeah, I like that. Adam, congratulations on that. Really well done. If anyone can save water that way, fantastic job. Dandy Mom, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So gardens thriving, sit back and enjoying. Yeah, gardens coming on okay. I mean, there's things that I wish were doing better. There's things that I was hoping. I mean, I was really hoping my potatoes would be flying this year, but half the bed for some reason is just not doing what it's supposed to. Garlic didn't do great this year. It's probably been my worst crop of garlic in the last 10 years. I'm really disappointed with the amount of garlic that we're getting this year. It's just a lack of rain when it was, when we're hoping to get them to mature. The lack of rain just did us. What else? But our squash are coming on really nice. Our bottle gourds are coming on really good. Now I've got the new arch pergola thing built. That looks quite sick, actually. It looks really nice. So I've got the. You might have seen a little clip of it in the last video that I did, but we've got the pergola built. It's a massive structure. It's about 4 meters by 2.5 meters across. So it's a really good, decent size. So I've got my bottle gourds climbing up, and they're going to be, soon they're going to be going over the top, and we'll have bottle gourds hanging down from it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So lots of oxygen if I can get in pond during an after storm. Yeah, that's what I saw. Do you know what you're saying just there? It depletes the oxygen levels. There was a report by I think it was a river trust or something like that. There was a massive death of fish all through Britain's rivers because of the lack of rain, the extreme heat in June, and then all of a sudden we had these thunderstorms. It just took out loads of oxygen, loads of fish died, and there was loads and loads of people were really struggling. Loads of fish died. I mean, we had a massive fish death in Leeds, through the River Aire. What happened was Yorkshire Water discharged loads of sewage. There was some mysterious foam that appeared in the stream, in the river, and for about a week or 2 weeks, the whole river was full of this mysterious foam. Loads of fish died, and then it coincided with the release of this report from the River Trust. So as soon as we've complained to Yorkshire Water, look, you've killed loads of fish in the water, you've discharged all this sewage, and you've discharged all this foam, their response is, well, the River Trust said it was natural. It was because of the warm temperatures and because of the storms. It's got nothing to do with us, and they've just completely washed their hands of it. But yeah, I think they're just using it as a cover to dump all their rubbish. Then, yeah, literally dump their crap into our rivers. Jamie Logan, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. I'm glad they're helping. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Has anyone else struggled to get climbing beans going successfully this season? Yeah, definitely. I mean, beans generally I've struggled with. So dwarf French beans I've struggled with simply because my chickens have been destroying them every time they grow. But climbing beans, there's one patch of them now that are looking really healthy and looking really strong. We grow them in three or four separate sections. So one arch is looking quite poor. One arch is looking really good and really healthy now that we've got the big gazebo, the big pergola thing up. At the bottom of the garden, that's where they're just not looking well at all. So there's a few plants, then there's loads of missing. Oops. Oh, what are you doing?
Sorry.
And then there's loads missing again. And then there's a few plants. So guys, if you haven't met Brownie before, he is Brownie. It's the kitten that we've had. When did we get?
2 months ago.
We've had her for 2 months. Yeah, it's a good cat. It's a good cat. You're a good cat, aren't you? You gonna sit or you gonna go? So loads died in Stafford Keys after the last one. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So Milwana, big love. Aquasafe, a product that removes chlorine and heavy metals. Yeah. Don't think we should drink or feed our plants with that crap. See, the best thing you can use is rainwater. Now, if you can use rainwater, absolutely brilliant. Use rainwater. If you can use snow melt water, even better. But if you can't use any of that, are you eating nachos? So I have my plate of nachos, and the cat's decided to start eating it. My daughter brought me some nachos over here. Let me shift these. So here, yeah. Yeah, say hello to everyone. Yeah, so rainwater is absolutely brilliant. If you can't use that and you've got nothing else other than tap water, then use tap water. I wouldn't worry about trying to remove all the chlorine and all the metals. Generally, if you just leave water, tap water in a bucket overnight, the chlorine, it dissipates itself within about 12 to 24 hours. So yeah, the chlorine that naturally off gases and disappears. But if you can't do that and you have to just spray it straight on, I wouldn't really worry about it. We use our tap water, but in order to avoid tap water, we use a lot of our grey water. So Stafford Keys, about 50 foot in places too, and it still lost so many fish. See, my broad beans were great. No black fly, massive crop, but then again, got a head start. Yeah, I mean, my broad beans were looking really good, and then when it came to harvesting time, just before harvest time, they put, because of that sort of hot June, normally what we get is we get loads of flowers early on, and then as those pods are maturing, we get a second flurry of flowers. And this year we just didn't get that second flurry of flowers. So we got a decent harvest, but not the normal harvest. So Noor Ali wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So tap water is what I'm on about. Yeah, we drink our tap water. We bought one of those Brita water filters. Is it Brita water filters? One of those water filters a while ago. But they come with these cartridges, right? That means you have to keep going back to Brita to get a new cartridge. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to get a cartridge that you can top up yourself, because activated carbon really easy to make. So yeah, if you can, make an activated carbon at home is really simple. So you can do that, make your own charcoal to filter it, and that way you're not going back and having to buy these stupidly expensive water filters for what they actually are. They're nothing. They're just a bit of plastic with some activated carbon, something that's really cheap to make. They're charging a fortune for. But yeah, I mean, a Brita water filter would be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, activated carbon is just so simple and so easy to make. You don't need all that fancy expense. So yeah, if you stick an air bubble in it, the chlorine off, that's even faster. So Kato family, you take care. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with us. Hope we'll catch you next week. So Pond Guru sells something like his price, mate, but you can drink water out of the pond from it. I wouldn't try that. I won't go that crazy. So I lost my beans to army worms this year. I was picking them off, but missed one day and boom, no. What are army worms? This is something I need to have a quick Google. Caterpillars, okay. Oh, wow. Wow. See, what are natural predators to things like that? Do you get? Are they? Is it normally birds that will take them? Yeah, it just says they eat all plant matter they encounter. So they're not. Yeah, they're not. Wow. Yeah. One of the things that we've managed to do is we don't have a massive snail problem, even though there's loads of snails about, and that's because there's a lot of blackbirds that come and live in the in the bushes and in the trees and around our garden, and those blackbirds help control the snails. They're not very good at controlling slugs, but they're good at controlling snails. So wasps are the only things I know that eat them. So RCDC, yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Walaikum salam Ali. My peppers keep wanting to grow suckers near the bottom of the plant. I keep removing them. So they're coming out from the base of the plant. Yeah. See, have you buried them quite deep? Do you know what? Clear the stem. Clear probably about 2 inches from the soil, and then, you know, add some mulch, something. Add some more mulch or some more compost, and hopefully that'll discourage anything to grow from there. And instead of them turning, it'll encourage more root growth higher up. Because remember, tomatoes, potatoes, chilies, these are all from the Solanaceae family, so they're all the similar family. So they'll put out roots higher up. So mulch them, put some more compost in, and you'll hopefully get more roots coming out. There's far more that you can do to fit to your water supply. I'm sure there is. The thing is, I'm sure there is. Brittle was a simple solution. It was quite good. So remove them and then put some compost on it and then see what happens. So stallion fish, I'm gonna go catch one. Yeah, see you next Friday. If you're ever in Manchester and want to take a look at the pond and garden, give us a shout. I'm planning on coming over because I want to see Rachel. This summer holidays. So once we get school holidays, I'm planning on coming over this summer. So black flies, swarm with my rhubarb. Get loads of soapy spray on them. That's one thing that you're going to use to deter them. Stallion fish, just had a quick thought. Could you get a decoy bird? Could you get a kite, you know, of a red kite or a predator bird that you can just pin in your garden, and hopefully that'll deter some of the birds? Luckily, ladybird larva is now starting to emerge. Yeah. Get an owl that bobbles. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, like a decoy bird. Because you can get one that's on a kite, you know, that just sort of flies around. It's stuck on a pole or it's stuck on a string and it just flies around, and that'd work really well. Yeah, I'm thinking I need to follow my own advice there. I need to follow my own advice, and I need to, because we lose most of the cherries on our cherry tree because pigeons and all kinds of other birds come and eat everything. So I think I need to follow my own little advice there and get a flying kite that flies over the top of my cherry tree. No, it's not a statue. It's on a string or on a pole, right? And it's literally up in the air, so it looks like a predatory bird that's flying about. And as soon as you get a little bit of wind, it's flying all over the place. So not good if it's statue mate, because they'll come down to mate. But the kite sounds interesting. There's something. See, double mirror on that. What we did in our cherry tree that worked the first year that we did it was we stuck loads of CDs up in the tree. So, you know, old CDs and DVDs and that sort of thing. And because of the reflection, that worked quite well in the first year, but it didn't work after that. I mean, the tree grew a little bit, but also I don't know if birds got a little bit more wise to it. So I tried your advice and planted some panda. Oh, fantastic, Mark! Well done. I'm glad it worked out for you. Guys, so that's it. I'm going to call it a night here because we've just hit that 9 o'clock mark. We'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll watch out for the video on Sunday. We'll do an update on the container garden and see how that's coming on. So I'm going to leave it there for this one. I'll see you on Sunday's video, and I'll be live again next Friday. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.